This show is again about David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. I did a show on his book previously. This one now, and keep in mind, I highly recommend his book, Can't Hurt Me. Just keep in mind, in that book, it's not for everyone. He talks about serious adult themes, childhood issues, lots of profanity. Okay, so you've been warned, that's in there. If you're okay with that kind of thing and you're already solid and you can handle that language and information, I highly recommend this book. Now, if you are going to go get it, I do recommend the audiobook because the audiobook is very ingenious, and Rich Roll's podcast had him on there. They talked about it. Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu had David Goggins on there. Brian Rosen on London Real, and I'm sure the list goes on and on. Joe Rogan have interviewed David Goggins after his book came out. And so you can check some videos on there as well, keeping in mind that there's going to be profanities, not what I'm going to talk about here. Now, the difference is the audiobook almost operates like a podcast. So he has another man reading his book, and then he interviews David Goggins in between chapters and in between segments to give you even added content. So it's really ingenious. It's pretty cool. This is the very end of the audiobook. This is only in the audiobook, this section. Very powerful. The last story that he told on the audiobook. At 24 years old, if someone asked me to write a book about my life, would it change someone's life for the better? I would not have been able to write anything worth reading. For the past 20 years, I made it my life's mission to be able to change the answer to that question. But to truly be able to do that, I had to find my real self and all I was hiding from. There, under all of the insecurities, fears, and self-doubt was a scared and lost David Goggins buried in the fetal position. Now at 43 years old, after turning myself inside out, I asked myself that same question, and here's my answer. Now David Goggins, if you know his story, he did turn himself inside and out. And this is such a critical point. It's like a summary of what the book is all about. While I don't know if this book will change your life for the better, I do know if you want to turn your life around, I am proof that anything is possible. Through intentional practice, I developed a mindset that no obstacle in front of me is more powerful than the will I have to conquer it. No obstacle in front of me is more powerful than the will I have to conquer it. I wrote that statement down. It's on my accountability mirror. It's awesome. I wasn't born with that will. I developed it by facing my own shadow. You must be willing to face your shadow. It's the one thing that follows you everywhere. Some days you can't see it, and you think you've outrun it, but it continues to reappear. Don't be afraid to live in the grip of life. We all have the ability to create the life that we want. But to achieve that life, you must be willing to confront yourself and your demons. That's what it takes. There are no shortcuts on this journey. It all comes down to how much you truly want it, plain and simple. Until we face the truth about ourselves, we will always live at 40% of our true potential. We can have all the financial success and material possessions in the world, yet still feel empty and unfulfilled. I have lived a life of facing discomfort on a daily basis, and by doing that, I no longer want for anything. No material thing can give me the peace I have found within myself. There are millions of people who are happy with the life that they have, and that is great. There are other people who settle with the life that they have. They are happy enough because they don't want to put in the necessary work to make their life better. And then there are those countless others who say they want to be more. They want to be someone different than they are today. So what's holding you back? You and only you are the one in control. It is your choice. We live in a world of hollow words, people who speak but don't do. There is no trick to it. You have to put in the hard work. How do you want your book to read at the end of your life? Again, if you're okay with profanities and adult themes and so forth, Go get this book. You will not be disappointed. I'm Dr. Scott Fuller.